It's fall and I'm so excited. I got my pumpkin out. I'm such a fall fan and it's release time, so I'm even more excited about that. This can be a bit of a long video, so grab a cup of tea, cup of hot chocolate, cup of hot cider, because I have a lot to share. Now, this release is happening a little bit later than I would have liked. I probably would have done it at the end of August or beginning of August, somewhere in there. It just got away from me. And I've mentioned I'm redesigning some of my older stencils and putting the collections together a little bit differently. So everything's just been taking forever. So I apologize. But the fall release is here and it is hot. It's so exciting. I love it. So but there's some other things I wanted to share with you first. So I'm going to keep you in suspense because I like to torture people. I'm just going to talk about the other parts of this release that aren't really part of the fall release, but are now in the shop. So my lines for journaling ran out really quickly when I released my junk journal class. These are back in the shop. So that's just a quick announcement. And then the other, this is kind of technically part of the release. A lot of people ask me about specific pattern stencils. And I've mentioned before in the past that the patterns sell the slowest. So it's not financially viable because I buy things by the thousands to redo certain things and only sell 50 when I'm stuck with hundreds and hundreds, right? So I let the pattern lines run out. When they're done, they're done. However, so many people have been asking me about these specific stencils. They're from 3 different sets, I think. So what I decided to do was I'm going to have one called like pattern favorites. So they're my 3 favorite. Everybody has been asking about one of these somewhere. And it's really for some of the newer people who've come and just discovered me more recently, but they want some of these sets. Now, if there's something in here you want and you don't have, but you have maybe some of the other pieces, I'm only doing them as sets. And the reason for that is it's just me. I'm a small person. I don't have a lot of time to keep going to do orders because I'm juggling a whole bunch of other things, including the 4 children that I have. So, and also I don't like the idea of having one stencil and shipping it, and then with shipping it increases the price of the stencil for the customer. So I'm doing it this way as sets so that customers save on shipping. It's the same amount for 1 or 3, so you might as well save money. Sorry, my partner is chainsawing a tree right now. We're building a shed and he's trying to get it done before the weather comes. So anyway, so this is just going to be called like either pattern favorites or vintage favorites. I will say with my stencils, I always have 2s or 3s of each of my patterns because imagine that these are the same print. I tend to line them up on my paper and use them like one long one. I could, obviously I could do 8.5 by 11 stencils, but those sell even slower than the other ones. So I don't like to do those anymore. So I'm just trying to make everything as cost effective as I can for all, for both sides. So if for some reason there's something that you want from this set, but you might be acquiring an extra or 2, a lot of the times when I'm making some of my collage papers, I'm putting them side by side. So I'm using 2, sometimes even 3 at a time. So, it's something to think about if you want 1 or 2, but you're like, well, I have the other. Just keep in mind, if you're working large, it's good to have more than 1 so that you don't have to keep picking it up, and it can be good for that process. So, and then lastly, the paper dolls, Paper Dolls #1, that is my bestseller. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that set. But the second one was, again, kind of a slow seller. And because I like to keep putting more, more figures out into my collections, it was a slow seller. So I let that sell out a couple of months ago. And again, you know, a lot of people have found me recently and are trying to get some of the older sets. So again, some of these redesigns are more for the new people who are asking, oh, you used to carry this. I just watched a video and now I want it and it's gone. So what I decided to do was bring back part of the Paper Dolls 2, which these are from the Paper Dolls 2 set, which again sold out months ago. Haven't had it in a while. And one other one from another set that I did that it had an 8.5 by 11 that I got rid of, called Documenting. This girl, I can't tell you how many people have asked me for this girl, and I decided to add her to this Paper Doll set. The one that was with the original was like a vase with a head. It was cute, but it was less paper dollish. So I just thought this made more sense. And again, this is just more for some of the newer people who are just finding me and have been asking for the old set that's been sold out for months. So I decided to just redesign it and add this girl to it instead. So that is that. All right, so the new sets, I just have a pile here of everything. I'll show you the stencils first. Hopefully I grab them all. The first one is called Dressed Up. And it's 3 figures. Again, I can't get away from people and faces. And again, people ask for those the most. These are really fun, and I know I say this every time, but there might be some of my favorites yet. We'll see. They're they're up there. So that's the Dressed Up fun. I'll explain those, and then also Dressed Up, I should say. The other one that is new is going to be Harvest Fun. So this is a lot of nature, outdoor fall themes. We've got a lot of pumpkins that could be apples or pumpkins, branches, mushrooms, fruits, vegetable kind of things, and then birds and leaves. So again, harvest fun, and Dressed Up. Okay, so my samples are all mixed up because this is my second video. So I'm going to try and show all the things I can. So these are just all the little bits, which I couldn't stop making, from all the Harvest Fun shapes. So you have lots of options. You know, you can use acrylic paint. I'll show you some samples with that. These are all my watercolor bits, which I'll either do plain and cut out, or I will outline and doodle on. There's many ways to go. So there's just plain, I have some outline on there. And then, for example, some of the pumpkin shapes, if you do it one way, I'd want to do like a sugar pumpkin. So I just drew the lines in. But if I did it without drawing lines, it looks kind of like an apple. So you even have versatility with the shapes. So here's one that's outlined and then one that's doodled. Super, super fun. I went crazy. And now I can put these in my drawer because they've been sitting out for like a month. But they're fun to cluster and use in collages. So as you can see, you just cut them out, cluster them. This is one of the older stencils that came out last run. And I'm not much of a card maker, but I started making all these watercolor cards with the shapes. I just went to town. I had so much fun. It's very satisfying. So they make beautiful, you know, stationery cards. Can't go wrong. And of course, like, I have to do a little fall themed book. So this is a cute, I think I put it away. This is a cute Tim Holtz Ideology accordion folio. I think they're still around. I bought a whole bunch in bulk because they're so smart. So they're blank, and then you add the art and the colors and all that. So that's what I did. and I just added all the bits in here. That's one of my abstract paper dolls. There are branches on the Harvest stamp. So this is the branches here, and I just did it twice together. Here's the pumpkin and one of the leaves, and just, I mean, having fun. I love putting these little release books together. Here's the little circus guy. Well, he's not circus, but I look at him. He looks circusy to me. So all the leaves and the crow. Put one of my moons in there, another pumpkin, and one of the mushrooms. Another soulful animal. When you just change the colors to a theme like fall, you can make everything look one way. And it's super, super fun. I actually brought this out just to share real quick. I posted this recently. You know, I always want to make sure you can get good use out of your stencils so that nothing is overtly one season or the other. So I did put one of the pumpkins in here, but I also wanted to show you how you can take any of the stencils and just change the colors or the theme, and then they're so versatile. You've got something that gives a different impression. So this is from my silhouettes and my autumn, like my moths, but I just did them in black so they look more like bats. I put a little hat on here. I did my little soulful bird in grayscale. She's from the very first paper doll set. I just gave her one eye and turned her into a cyclops. And then even this is the wave from the ocean stencil, and I just gave it a more Tim Burton kind of flair. And this is the coral from the ocean set, but if you do it in black, it looks like, you know, branches. And this is one of the mermaids, so I gave her black hair, and I put her in the scene, and it just looks so cool. It looks like she's riding a wave that's, you know, more Tim Burton or Halloween. So just fun to play with the versatility of stencils. And speaking of which, so I have the 3 different faces, and I always like to show you how I use them. So sorry, I'm getting over allergies here. So one of the ways I like to use them is to just use them almost like a stamp, right? So you just stencil the image with acrylic, and then you add to it there. So I just did this in acrylic. I did acrylic paint here. I added to the face with some paint pens. I did add some stickles. I can't resist the glitter on some of these because she's a star girl, so she has to have glitter and sparkle. But I wanted you to see what they look like, you know, just through the stencil with acrylic, because not everybody wants to use the stencils like a template like I prefer to use them as. I want them to still be versatile for people who just want a quick image and then move on. So same thing here. This is acrylic, and then I just added doodles. So you can see they still stand on their own as just an image. Oh, I really apologize there with this allergies. And then, so this one, if you use it as a template, then this set comes with 2 hats. Let me grab these. So it has 2 hats in there. So I just wanted to show you the difference. If you do the tall hat here, she looks more like, almost like a vintage Perrault doll, like a French kind of mime or clown, if you put that on there. Kind of a circus kind of look. And then if you use the crown here, it just looks like someone at a party. It could be someone after work celebrating her birthday at the local restaurant, or it could be even a child. Her face, you know, you can make it look 2 different ways. And then this one, it does have a little cat in here because people always ask me to do cats and things. And while I love cats, the animals, I don't usually use too many animals in my art, but I just thought since I made this potentially witchy, I would put a cat in there. You can't not have a cat. So in the cat, again, here is what it looks like with, well, I actually did this with watercolor, but with acrylic it would look the same, so it comes out fine. And then I did another one in black. I just put watercolor through here, let that dry, and then I filled it in, and then I went back over with the stencil to add designs. It's another option. And then here is my more illustrative, like use as a template, trace it in pencil, and then fill it in from there. And that can be used all year round. It's not, I mean, you could put a little Christmas hat on that. It could be Christmas. And this one, so again, you know, if you don't use the hat, you know, this looks like someone, she's got some glasses on. She's, you know, again, she's probably at the same work party as this chick, right? Maybe I should have called this Party Girls. That would have been fun. And then here I decided, okay, I want to make her look like a witch. So I used the hat and I did black on the glass frames. When you do that, it looks like a mask. Okay. And then I did that. But if you just change the color themes, you can give it a whole other vibe. So now, since I did this in a color that coordinates her outfit, now it just looks like she's got beach glasses on. I have this little beach hat. It's the same hat. What I did is I just trimmed the top a little bit. So now it's a beach hat. She's ready to go to the beach. So, you know, this is important to me because I don't want you to feel like, oh, I can only use this one time a year. You can use it whenever you want. And the hat isn't attached. So this is just a fun person with a mask or glasses, which I was dying to add to my collection. So, and then with these, I just love these. These are the star of the collection. Get it? I'm just obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with like really fantasy, like folktale, like a star girl. We actually have the Star Child. It's a really pretty book. She doesn't have a star head, but it's a cute story. Anyway, I wanted her to have some sort of wand. This, again, could be used in different ways. So I used this motif and just added it here and just trimmed the one stem. And then I added it here to give it a different look. So I did them in the same color because I was thinking I might use these as a book, like to have two of the same and they open up like on a cover. So that's why I was doing them the same. And then I changed my mind and decided to like put these a little bit differently. But again, I mean, you can use all kinds of colors. So, and these all that I'm sharing here are ones that I did with pencil and watercolor, and then use like a Stabilo and all those things. I have older videos that show you how I do that. So super, super fun. And I also wanted these in there because, again, I'm always thinking ahead. So it just could be fun, like, again, costume party theme, right? Or later, like, to me, this is like a perfect New Year's image because I don't know. I'm just crazy. So anyway, so those are the new stencils. I have some in my books here. So I had the pages marked, but this is my second video, so I took them all out. Here's the pumpkin and the crow. Here's like a fall leaf. Here we go with some more pumpkins, and everything looks nice clustered. That's my favorite way to use it. And also, this, I think I called it nature study, but these trees that came out, if you didn't get them, they're perfect for fall because you can really turn them into fall trees. I'm just looking here. I don't want to bore you. Oh, here's some more of the pumpkins clustered together. This is not a stencil. I just did this freehand because I know certain people will ask. Here's another fall time. I had to make a fall mermaid, right? I actually met the person who recommended I try a mermaid this weekend at the Ranger class. She's one of the students. So nice. I was like, oh my gosh, you changed my life with that suggestion. Wait, I see another leaf. Here's some fall leaves. They're nice to just doodle on and use in the background. And most of what you're seeing in here, here again, I love these fall trees. This is all more of the acrylics. I'm using them like acrylics. So here are some pumpkins and the crow. Those trees, sorry, I'm trying to, here's some more fall leaves. I don't want to go through this whole thing because I'm not really. Here we go. Here's some more fall leaves. They look so cute when you cut them out. This is not a stencil. This is a paper punch that I found years ago. Here, you know, you do it in black. This is some of the different, this is the branch that I did. It looks good. That might be it, I think, in this one. So, super fun. Lots of ideas. I think it's going to be such a great bunch of images to work with. It's just been such a blast. So I hope you enjoy it. I am going to be doing my winter release in another, I mean, ideally I'll probably have to do it end of October. So like another month or so, I'll be doing the winter release. I really didn't mean for them to come out so close together, but it is what it is. So, all right. Well, I'm so glad to share all this with you. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and I hope you enjoy these images as much as I did. It's just been such a pleasure creating all this stuff. So I will see you again soon.